What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Chop Shop for the NBA on Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving. We've got a busy slate going on here. So let's go ahead and get right to it. What we're going to do is give you some guys that I think are going to be very popular plays, very highly owned, and some guys I think you can get on in the same price range, just a little bit less chalky, if you will. And as always, the guys I'm saying not recommending here, the guys I'm saying to fade aren't because they're bad plays. It's because they're highly owned plays, and in tournaments you got to take those kind of chances. So today we're just not just going to do position by position, but rather we'll get in the same pricing tier and try to do it that way. So we'll start off in the upper tier, the very expensive guy, James Harden. He's a pretty good chunk of money less than Russell Westbrook tonight. So I think he's going to be the more popular play. So I would suspect James Harden's a very highly owned guy tonight, if not the highest owned guy on the board. So I love him. Think he's a great cash game play. But in a tournament, if you wanted to save that money and fade him and go somewhere else, a guy I may look at is Kevin Durant. You save a pretty good amount of money here, $2,000 in your salary cap. You get Kevin Durant, who's been mighty consistent this year. 64% of his games, he's gone for 50 or more DraftKings points. At his price range, that's a very nice mark of consistency and just a hair of that upside. So I think he has a chance here to have a good game tonight. It's a good matchup. So, he's had plenty of rest. I like him. I don't think he outscores James Harden, but that's not even remotely what I'm trying to argue. What I'm saying is that you save so much money, it strengthens your team in other places, and on the off chance that something happens to James Harden and he puts up a dud tonight for whatever reason, then you're in a great shape if you have Durant and he goes out and gets his typical 50 points. So let's move on to a middle tier, and I'm looking, in between that $6,500 and $7,500 range on DraftKings, and I think a very popular play tonight is going to be Gordon Hayward. So this is especially rings true if Derek Favors is out again and George Hill is still injured. Gordon Hayward will be pretty popular, and he's a solid play, but he also is prone to a bad game also. So I think he'll be chalk. A guy I may look at instead of Hayward, $6,900, you save $300, is Rudy Gay, who's been extremely, extremely solid this year. He's had a couple of off games recently, and that actually drove his price down, so that's good for us tonight. Came back with a vengeance last game, so I think he's back on track now. Generally speaking, he's the fifth highest scoring small forward on this particular slate, also has power forward eligibility. Has a good matchup tonight. If you look at the RotoGrinders defense versus position page, you'll see he has a 104.8 differential. That's in the green. The green is good. Blue is even better. You want to avoid those reds down there. So he has a decent matchup tonight, and he's a good player. So I think you can save some money here and get a just as good of a stat line, if not better, than Gordon Hayward. So let's dip down even further now, below 6K. Chalk guy, I'm gonna Thaddeus Young on the chalk train here, especially if Paul George is out and some of the other injuries are still out there for the Pacers. Last game, Thaddeus Young was 25% owned in the big tournaments. That's a huge number for him. It's too big for him, even with the injuries to the other Pacers. So he's a good fade candidate tonight at $5,800. A guy I would look at is Trevor Booker in his place, who kind of goes under the radar. Probably going to be another night where he's less than 5% owned. But he's been really solid this year with his new team, averaging 27.5 DraftKings points per game on the year. I don't see why he doesn't maintain that, if not surpass that tonight. He's done that this entire year without any major injuries to the rest of his team. Every once in a while, Lopez will sit out, and Jeremy Lin's been hurt, but Booker's been really solid. So tonight he's taking on a Boston team that struggles to rebound. They brought in Al Horford. That did not solve their rebounding problems. They still have a hard time. They rank 24th in the NBA in rebounding. That's very low. That's very bad. And then his teammate Brook Lopez, the center, is not a good rebounder either. So just by process of elimination tonight, we see that if the other team doesn't rebound well and this guy's own center doesn't rebound well, that should leave a lot of opportunities for Trevor Booker to clean up on the boards. And at 5,300, You don't need a whole lot to push you over the top. So that's my recommendations tonight. I'm hoping it wins you some tournaments, or at least cashes you high, and I'm hoping I cash high too with it. So as always, guys, good luck tonight. Happy Thanksgiving, man, and be safe out there. See you next week.